At this point, you can forget everything you know about smash burgers because these barbecue vegan sliders are on a whole new level. Juicy, smoky, and dripping with flavor. They're proof that plant based can outshine the classics any day. So stay tuned for the easiest, most mouth-watering vegan slider recipe you have ever tried. First, we're going to start off by prepping our produce. This means chopping our onions, lettuce, and tomatoes. So, start by chopping your onions to your desired size. I choose slightly bigger than small, but not quite medium. Onto our lettuce. I have chosen to make sliders, so of course they're smaller. So, my choice of lettuce size is going to be a little smaller. Onto our tomato. Same thing with your tomato. You want to choose tomato sizes that are not so thick that you're going to have a hard time grabbing your sandwich, but also not so thin that you don't taste the tomato because you got to taste the tomato. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know I absolutely love Tabitha Brown's mango jalapeno sausages, and that's what we're using today. So just take those casings off and place them inside of your bowl. The package comes with about 5 of them. For the size of my sliders, it'll make about 7, but I only actually have about 6 buns, so I'll end up with a little bit extra, but that's okay. Just make sure that all of the casing is off so that when you are combining this, everything meshes well together. Okay, now this is the closest I can get you to a smash, okay? Mash this meat together. We want to make sure that everything is nice and combined and it's no longer in the sausage form. And here's where we make it our own. Time to add in our seasoning: garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, and then our minced garlic. And I'm going to use garlic today because it's about quick and easy. So make it easier on yourself, you guys. Grab that jar, put that garlic in there, and get to mixing. And now it's time to form our patties. So lightly oil your hand, scoop a portion of the mixture into your palm, and shape them into a ball. Once you have reached your desired size, then you can go ahead and press them to make that patty form. When forming your patties, you want to make sure that you take into consideration the size of your bun. So, what I like to do is actually take the bun and have it nearby so that I can kind of size it up, to make sure that it's the right size. Because you don't want your patty to be so big that it overpowers the bread and it's falling all over, too big. But then you also don't want it to be so small that you can barely tell that it's a sandwich, okay? You're mainly eating bread and toppings. So take that all into consideration when you are forming the size of your patties. Another helpful hint for making these patties also would be to make sure that the meat is compact. When you are forming your patties, you want the meat to be as compact as possible so that once you place them inside of the pan with the oil, they don't begin to separate. You don't want a crumbly patty. You want this experience to be as close to a beef patty as possible. Remember, if you make a mistake with your sizing or if it's just not as compact as you would like it to be, you can always start over, okay, with your molding. It's kind of like Play Doh, right? You remember being a little kid and you would make something, but it didn't necessarily turn out the way you wanted it to, or you changed your mind and wanted to make something else. What did you do? You just balled it right back up and started all over. So treat this meat kind of like your Play-Doh and just start all over. Now we're getting ready to saute our onions. So we have put about a teaspoon of olive oil inside of the pan and brought it to a medium heat. Now we're adding in our onions. Do you guys like onions? I absolutely love them. Once again, if you know, you know. If you've been watching my other videos, you know that the purple onions are the way to my heart. So get those inside of that pan, flip them around, and let them just caramelize beautifully. They are absolutely going to be an added asset to this dish. As soon as they are caramelized to your desire, you want to make sure that you take them out because you don't want them to be too soft. Once we've set those to the side, we're going to go ahead and heat up our skillet so that we can add in our patties. Feel free to tilt your pan and distribute the oil a little better if you need to so that the patties don't stick as they're cooking. And we are cooking this on about a medium heat. You can do medium high, but you have to be very, very, very careful. Now remember, as good as these look, they are not beef patties. They are vegan patties, so you don't need to cook them forever. That's the joy of it all. No blood running out and all of that crazy stuff. You can get just right to it. So we're only going to cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side, and then we'll add them into our sauce a little bit later to finish them out. Now we're going to work on our sauce. I have just a little bit of oil inside the same pan, and now I'm adding in the sauce. Now, granted, I know you could have just poured the sauce on the patty, but no, you could not have just poured the sauce on the patty because making sure that you put this heat to it is going to not only draw out those flavors, but it's also going to intensify that sweetness as well. So this is a must-do step. Please do not cheat yourself, treat yourself. Once you have this all brought to a nice boil and the sauce is thick, you want to place those patties right inside of there. Place them in, flip them around, and make sure that they are fully coated, okay? Of course, you can always use the sauce of your preference, but I'm using rib rack sauce. It's very comparable to your Sweet Baby Ray's, but the difference is that you actually can read the ingredients, okay? Simple ingredients. And I picked this up at my local Kroger. I'm sure they probably sell it at other places, but that's where I got mine. By now, our patties are ready to come out, and we're going to set them to the side and then work on our buns. We're going to prep our buns now by cutting them inside the middle. I prefer for it to be even on both sides, but some people like a smaller top or a smaller bottom. Now in a separate pan, we're going to melt our butter so that we can grill our slider buns. When you place the buns, place them face down inside of the butter and kind of try to, what they call, sop it up just a little bit. Get as much of that butter as you can on all the pieces, and they will cook beautifully. The temperature on this pan is not high at all. I'm using anywhere from low to medium, never higher than medium though, and never walking away from the pan. As you can see, it's already turning out beautifully. A couple more seconds and then we'll go ahead and take them out. And now it's time to assemble. Now, some people would stop at just the barbecue sauce, but for me, yep, a little extra. So I'm placing also mayo at the bottom of my sandwich. You can either opt out of the mayo or you can put it at the bottom or the bottom and the top. I am going to place it on the bottom. Now it's time to bring in the beauty. Look at that. Saucy. Once we have our patty positioned exactly where we want it on the bun, we're going to add on our onions, then our lettuce. And when you place your lettuce, make sure you place it in the middle and put that tomato on the top. The position of that tomato is going to help hold everything together under the tomato. And there we go. Beautiful. Absolutely phenomenal. And that's it, you guys. Smash burger who? No. We are making these absolutely beautiful vegan burgers every time we want a barbecue burger. So that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe.